Check out this video to see me tackle some Currie Cup action. Welcome back to SkinnyBru Rugby, guys. So there are no big internationals this week, so all of us are back to old reliable, or how you would say in Afrikaans, die ou staatmaker. Ons is terug. We're back at the Currie Cup. You guys have been asking for it for a while, so I decided this week I might do it a bit, because I'm not that busy and I'm not that busy with the other rugby competition. So this week we are tackling the old reliable Currie Cup. Just if you have not been following the season, this is a quick refresher on what's been going on. We're now in round 4, round about halfway, because the teams are only playing each other once this season, and remember there are only 7 teams in the competition, so everyone has played about 2 or 3 games. The table at the moment, the Free State Cheetahs at the top, they've played 2 games, they've won both of them with bonus points, they have 10. Then we have the Griquas, have 10, Lions 9, VP 7, then we have the Sharks at 5, Bulls at 5, and at the bottom the Pumas with 3. A quick recap of the 7 teams. The Cheetahs, they have been spectacular. They are doing this in their preparation for the Pro 14. For sure, you can see it. They have good teams they've picked. They've won against the Bulls and the Griquas, both of them convincing wins. They are hungry for some action, and they've also signed some big names. He hasn't played yet, like Ruan Pinar, he hasn't played yet, but I'm excited to see it. I want to see what he can still offer to the South African teams, and what has he learned overseas that he can teach us, our younger guys over here in South Africa. Then Griquas, they've been impressive. They lost last week though, a bad loss to the Cheetahs. The Lions, they've won 2 out of 2. Against the Pumas, they won by 1 point, and the VP last week with 2 points. Then the VP, about 10 of their box are away out of the squad at the Bok training camp, so it's a difficult task for them. They don't have their strongest teams, they have a lot of new combinations and so on. They won against the Bulls, and then they had 2 bonus point losses. The Sharks, they had a bad loss against the Griquas, and then they also beat the VP. Off the field drama with them, especially with the Pretoria drama, it's a bit difficult for them over there, and then a lot of their guys also have left the squad. They are playing overseas now. The Bulls, they've not been good. They had 1 win last week against the Pumas, and it wasn't convincing either. And then for the Pumas, they put up a fight in every game, but they just do not last the 80 minutes. Either they play at the end really well and start off poorly, or they start off really well and then at the end not so good. Let's get into this weekend's game. This weekend there are 3 games. Number 1 against number 3, Cheetahs versus the Lions. Then we have number 5 up against number 7, so it's the Pumas against the Sharks. Then we have the Bulls versus the Griquas. This is a little bit of a bigger gap. It's the number 6 side, the Bulls versus Griquas, who are at the 2nd place in the table. The games are too close to call. There is one big game where I can't spot any favorites. Let's get into it. It's the Cheetahs versus the Lions. As I said, it's their warm-ups for the Pro 14, the Cheetahs, and they would want to improve. The Lions, though, they've been great at fight backs, especially last week. They played really well to win or to beat the VP at the end, because the VP actually had a big lead. Lineouts did well last week, but Ori has left again. He's back at the box training camp, so Van der Sluys is in, but they have had a few standouts this season. Schoeman, Diamane, Reynolds and Green. They call Green the future Bok. I can see what they're talking about. I've liked him since he played junior box, and to me he's someone that really plays well. He's not there yet, but he has a potential to really get there. The Lions' center pairing, it's been promising at times, but sometimes they just do not release the ball to the back 3, because that back 3 is very exciting. They can score tries from anywhere. But in the end of the match last week, it went a little bit better, and they actually scored a couple of tries. As for the Cheetahs, this season they haven't lost too many big names. That's good for them. They signed a couple of big names like Pinar. He is getting old, but he can impart a lot of wisdom to that side. He actually arrived in Bloemfontein on Tuesday, if I'm correct, or that's when he started practicing with the team, or training with the team. So I think he might get a shot this weekend, probably from the bench. The Cheetahs, as always, they have very good running rugby, but sometimes they just throw caution to the wind and just run the ball from anywhere, and their defensive structures still aren't good enough to actually withhold the team when they lose possession. So that's still something they need to work on, and that's been a problem for them for years. For years now, they've tried to outscore the other team instead of actually outlast the other team. I can tell you, I'm expecting a high scoring game in Bloemfontein this weekend, but I think the Cheetahs will pull it off by 5 points. But the Lions will be more ready than the other previous games the Cheetahs played. The Lions will expect some big tries, so they'll be ready to withhold the team. Then we have the Pumas versus the Sharks. The Sharks, they haven't done anything amazing this season. Their backline still looks a bit stagnant to me. It's not the best backline. They have lost a lot of big names. So they've lost 4 or 5 big names to the Boks in their backline in particular. So at times it has been struggling. The combos aren't finding each other. But at other times again, they look like they can fire against any side. So the combo can hit at any stage. I don't know if it's going to be this week where they actually clutch into gear, but maybe this week they can actually do it. Then for the Pumas, if they want to save their season, the time is now for them to pakisa, as their name suggests. It's time to go. They're running out of time to actually save their season. Most of us want them to do well, except for when they're playing against our teams, but most of us actually want them to do well and put up some big games against a big side. So hopefully they can do it this week again. For the Sharks, they've had some off the field stuff that has been bothering them. Like I said, the Deprias, all of them has left now, and then also a bunch of Oaks that has left the side now that is playing overseas, and it is just becoming more and more and more. Their lineouts, they have been good. Their locks are in good fettle, so that's good for the Sharks. That's something for them to build on. At number 10 and number 15 for the Pumas, those guys have been impressive for me. I think they are the standouts in the backline for that side. Sometimes those two are very dangerous for that side. The front pack of the Pumas, they have some grunt guys like Loberts, who is on the bench for them. He's very good as well. He brings something to that side when he comes on. And they are really able to score some great tries in that team. The defense tends to have some gaps though every now and then, so that's also difficult to predict. For me, the Sharks really need this win. The Pumas will fight for sure, but I think the Sharks will pull it off by 7 this week. Then it's the Bulls versus the Griquas. The Griquas, out of the two teams, have been much better, a much better side this year, but they are playing in Pretoria, and the Griquas have only won 1 game in the last 10 times the Griquas and the Bulls have played there. So the Griquas will struggle. Last year was the last time they won there though. They beat the Bulls actually by 21 points, so that was quite a good score against them. But with the Griquas and the Bulls in this game, I can promise you the scores get high. The history, all of them in the 40s, high 30s, 40s, even some of them ranging up to 60s. So we can expect some tries in this game. As I said, the Griquas have been impressive. That loss last week against the Cheetahs was really bad. They had a very big loss over there. Either their side is going to be hurting now and going to lose some of their momentum, or it will boost them and actually let them fight back again. But we don't know what's going to happen, but that's stuff to consider. I for one, I'm a positive guy, so I hope it boosts their side so that we can see some good rugby. Then for the Bulls, they have something else in this game. As Dylan Sage said this week, he believes the Bulls can still win the title if they want to do that. The time is now to start winning. They really need that wins if they want to do anything. Their win against the Pumas last week was mostly Speckman doing everything, just cutting through the Pumas defense, but that was more down to the Pumas' defense and then obviously Speckman's explosive speed. So they're gonna rely heavily on him again this week. The Bulls, it's also one of the two teams, it's the Bulls and the VP, who have a lot of box that aren't playing at the moment for them. The Bulls have lost a lot of box at the front of their team, but they still have some good players in that team. That back three of them is very exciting. The 12-13 combination, it's not the best to me at times. The number 12, Kotze, he plays at wing usually or outside center. Sometimes he has good touches. Last week he actually made one great try assist, but he's not Birger Odendaal. He just can't play at that level at number 12. Maybe in the future, but not at the moment. Then they also have Libbok and Papier as the 9-10 combo. Libbok, he can really mess up some games. At times, when he's under pressure, he can really give you some really big mistakes. He got the nod this week against Magnus Boshoff, who started last week. So hopefully they have something up their sleeve with him. Van Staden in the front pack, he's been crucial to their side. He does get a lot of turnovers for them, and from turnovers they usually swing the ball wide to Spickman, and he goes and scores a try. History and the Bulls really need this win, so I think the Bulls will win by 12. Okay guys, that's my predictions for the Currie Cup this weekend. Let me know what you thought of it. Also, let me know what you thought of me doing some Currie Cup videos. I would like to hear some of your opinions. It is difficult for me though. I need to cover a lot of rugby in between as well, but I'll try to do it if you guys are interested. Also hit the subscribe button if you like this video. I would really appreciate it, and then give this video a thumbs up. Cheers.